What's up, guys? My name is Cliff Wilson, and I'm really excited to be putting on this webinar with Fit Pro Development this weekend about women's contest prep. For those of you that don't know who I am a full-time contest prep coach, and I'm a professional natural bodybuilder myself. So a lot of people may be asking, why do they have a guy talking about female contest prep? Well, even though I'm not a female, I do have a lot of experience in working with female competitors. I've coached over 150 female competitors in my career, and I've actually had a bikini, a figure, and a bodybuilding all-women's world champion within the natural federations. So I have quite a bit of experience working with different sections of the female competitive population. So during my presentation, to you guys, I'm going to be covering a lot of things, and I'm really going to take you from the start of a career and when you decide you're going to get into the sport, all the way to stage and then after stage. So one of the things we're going to talk about to begin with is mentality. I'm going to talk about having the right mindset when you come into the sport, knowing why you are getting into the sport and what your motivations are for entering the sport and why you want to compete. So then from there, we're going to talk about how to help you choose a division and some of the criteria involved in choosing a division. Even though you may want to do one division or another, you may need more time, or you may not be really structurally or genetically suited for that division. So that's why I'm going to help you decide if you belong in the division you want to go into, and then where to go from there. After we cover some of the criteria, we're going to be looking at contest prep length. Is there a difference between divisions with figure, bikini, or bodybuilding? Do you need a longer or shorter contest prep in order to achieve that? We're going to cover all that. We're going to cover caloric and cardio differences between bikini, bodybuilding, and figure, and we're also going to include women's physique in that too. I'm going to talk about how to track your progress over the course of your contest prep. We're going to be looking at things like the scale and pictures and measurements and how to use them and should you use them to get to your best on show day. After we talk about tracking progress and you start to come into show day, we're going to discuss peak week strategies and how the different peak week strategies can suit each division you want to go into. Because the way you're going to run your peak week as a bikini competitor is not the same as the way you're going to run your peak week as a bodybuilder. So we're going to discuss those differences as well. Then after the show comes, then you're going to have post-show period. We're going to talk about some of the mental ways you manage the post-show period, as well as the physical ways. How fast should you start to refeed and gain body fat? How much body fat should you gain? And then after all that is finished, I'm going to do a quick touch on how to essentially design your career. And we're going to talk about how to flow from off-season to prep and continue that cycle. I know this sounds like a pretty lofty endeavor trying to cover all this in an hour and a half, but I promise you that you're going to have a good time seeing the way I put it together, and hopefully you'll take away quite a bit from it. So anyway, see you guys on Sunday.
Hey y'all, I am so excited for this webinar coming up in the next few weeks. You guys, this is going to be some amazing information from myself and from Cliff. I personally have been competing since 2011, and I've coached many girls to stage as well. So if it's happened, I've probably been there or coached someone through it. So a lot of firsthand experience and a lot of knowledge in this area. So what am I going to be covering in the webinar? So first, kind of what to expect on your journey to stage, which I know is a really open-ended kind of a question or a topic, but think about like cost and hiring a coach and timeline, that kind of stuff. You know, why should you compete, and managing those expectations? That's really important. Choosing a federation or a category, that can be a big decision as well based on your genetics or your just personal preference. Now, prep for one show versus a whole season, that's also different. That is something that you have to take into consideration when planning your prep. Class expectation differences. So for this webinar, we're going to be covering bikini through physique. So all the different stuff with hair, makeup, tanning, suit, that kind of stuff, they do, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences that I want to cover as well. Backstage prep, like what you should bring, what to expect, social support or lack thereof, prep struggles, because we all go through those, so I want to cover them, help you guys out, and really the post-show blues is a big thing I want to talk about as well, because that's something I've experienced, my clients have experienced, and kind of how to work through that. And lastly, show day expectations. So just kind of like a rundown of like before prejudging, the in-between, and the show, kind of how to manage all that and what to expect. Lastly, if you are signed up for the webinar, you will get a copy of my ebook, Perfect Your Package. So it goes over in all detail things for the package for the day of the show. It's very, very detailed, and it's, again, through my experience, what I found to work and not to work. So with your ticket purchase, you will get a copy of that. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you there.